Today's podcast is with Desiree Bouchard, the integrator, the general manager from Great Lakes Landscape Design, and Ellen Moore. She's the director of continuous improvement for this company. This company is the co-host of our Summer Growth Summit coming up August 18th to 20th. There's a link in the show notes if you want to learn more about the show. These two powerful leaders of this company are going to explain the dynamic between the integrator and their own second in command, the director of continuous improvement. Very, very powerful. They'll share with you a bit about how they met, how they each got into their position. They'll talk about the impacts that they've already made working together in under a year. They'll talk about some of the new systems they've set up. They'll talk about some of the systems they're working on right now and some future systems they're going to work on. And the real synergy of how these two roles work together is very inspiring. At the end, they'll talk about the talks they're going to be giving, and they're involved in a couple during our Summer Growth Summit. So very inspiring for you, no matter what your position is, for anybody looking to make improvements or even just grow your career, learning from how these two powerhouses grew their career. Here you go. Hey, Des and Ellen, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Thanks. Hey, Jeffrey.
I am so excited. Hey, Ellen, I'm excited for you guys to be on this podcast because, one, you're co-hosting our Summer Growth Summit in August, and you will both be speaking at least once, I think, maybe one of you twice. And I'm excited because you have such a unique arrangement, which we're going to dive into right now. At the end of this podcast, we will circle back to the Summer Growth Summit, but right now, let's just dive into you two. And so I'll start with you, Des. You're the integrator, the general manager at Great Lakes Landscape Design. Give us a 2-minute intro from beginning to how you got to today.
Okay. So I started at Great Lakes close to 13 years ago. I started in the office, just office support and doing a little bit of marketing. I quickly noticed that the company needed a little more cohesive branding. So even though it wasn't technically part of my role when I first started, I got everything, social media, website, everything aligned and kind of in order. And then as time went on and we implemented EOS, I became the integrator over time and the general manager, which kind of brings us to today. There's a lot that happened in between there.
Yeah.
But
So did I even say, wow, you were really good at organizing, fill in the blank? Well, maybe you can organize our company. Like, is that how it happened?
Yeah. And I think I just naturally, I'm a huge on processes and structure. And so I naturally started putting things into place that I saw were missing, even just in my role that I was in. And I kind of became the process enforcer before we were doing EOS, just making sure contracts were getting signed, things like that were happening. So then when we implemented EOS, it wasn't when we got to the point of we need an integrator, it kind of was pretty much unanimous
Obvious.
that I was the one. Yeah.
Well, you should get a hat that says the enforcer.
She doesn't need it.
I want to see that hat.
I'll give you my background.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was a ski bum for as long as I could afford it. And then my husband and I moved from Wyoming to Michigan, where I got an MBA. Thought I wanted to be a big corporate person. One of Jeffrey's favorite trivia facts about me is I did work in nuclear power for many years in different leadership and financial strategy roles. Wanted to be more entrepreneurial, be more creative. I did that for a while, took care of some very sick family members, and then was like, okay, ready to go back into a company, but I would love to do something like outdoors and like not nuclear. And a friend of a friend knew this guy in landscape who was a big visionary and needed somebody organized. So I joined the landscape industry, I don't know, 2019, however many years that is. And like in week 2, the owner and I got on a plane to Atlanta and went to a Jeffrey Scott Executive Summit. And I think it was the first night. I'm a introverted person. So I was sort of seek out somebody I can talk to. And I'm sure your whole community knows Ivan Katz, the owner of
Yeah.
Great Lakes. He is easy to meet. But we just struck it off. And that's kind of my entry to landscape and a little window into how I started to get to know Great Lakes.
Okay. And so, and then you decided to switch companies. You were working for somebody else and you came on here. And I heard you just pick the title Director of Continuous Improvement, but it fits perfectly.
Well, I mean, I could describe the way, well, at first I had no idea why they wanted to talk to me. Like, none. But the owner had one idea and I wasn't the fixer. And I was like, oh, that is just not friendly. I don't like that title. Des is our resident, like, she's brilliant at picking good words. So I give my hats off to Des on that one. I didn't pick the title. She did.
So I just want to say, I know in your meetings you guys talk over each other, but on this recording, it cancels each of you out when you do that. So we'll have to sort of take our turns. By the way, Ellen, I was just thinking, wasn't Jimmy Carter a nuclear physicist or a nuclear scientist? I think he worked on nuclear subs. So you have something in common with one of the presidents of the United States.
Great.
Great. And another trivia question.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got the integrator, the director of continuous improvement. You talked about how you met, your journey. And so what do you do, Ellen, as a director of continuous improvement? Well, on many of my podcasts, we've even had Des on here before, I think, talking about being an integrator. And so give us a minute on what does your position do?
I have two hats. One hat's pretty easy to understand. So I do run the support organization, the finance team. That is my home background. I'm very strong in finance, systems, IT. I'm very good at LMN, Slack, QuickBooks. So I do a lot of just work and improvement there with my own team. We huddle every morning. I've got a great team. But then I turn around and go to Des. I'm kind of her arms extended. Like, I'm the integrator's integrator. And just Des, where's our biggest fires? And she will explain it. I think Des could do my job too, but she's like running the company. The owner is the most fabulous business development person I've ever met. So he's out doing that. So I'll take the problem, go meet with the people, the leaders, and kind of apply tools from there without going into too much depth. But you listen to what the biggest problem is, try to get people together to fix it. And typically it's some kind of adjustment. This is a very process-oriented place, like Des mentioned. But sometimes processes have been built over time and they no longer kind of work together, or they're getting inefficient and cumbersome. So I often am working on that with the team.
So Des, give us your take. If she's your extra pair of arms and hands, give me your perspective on her role.
So her role, honestly, the way it even came about was I was on a call with you and you were like, Des, you need a second in command. And immediately I thought of Ellen, and here we are now. But what I felt like before, and I think a lot of people in the industry and can relate to, is I felt like I was getting Chinese water tortured to death, pinged all day long with every issue or every process issue or and there's so much going on that I was struggling to resolve all the issues or having the time to put in that needed to truly resolve them without putting a Band-Aid on it that, is temporary. So with Ellen, it is a project-based role. So she is able to dig into these things, pull the teams together that needs to be involved to work on the projects and just follow through and make sure the change actually happens or whatever needs to be improved or so it's been great. It's been great for me because we do work really well together, and as long as we're aligned, which we are, it just keeps things moving forward.
What have you been most surprised and happy? Like, wow, That's awesome. What have you been most surprised about that Ellen's been able to solve or fix, or like maybe even
Oh,
something you weren't expecting?
for me, 100%, it's the metrics. That's something that as a team we've always struggled with. Setting good metrics that matter, that you should be counting, that moves the needle. Um, and that's something Ellen's really, really strong at. So helping us identify metrics and then put the systems together to really track them. It's something I'm at today really excited about. It's something I've been excited about. Especially our new morning huddles. I don't know how much we're going to get into on some of the things we've put into place, but
Yeah.
that's for sure KPIs, metrics, and counting things that we should be counting, that we should be looking at on a daily basis, weekly, monthly.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
worked with Barney Naylor. You're in
Mhm.
Michigan. He's in Michigan. You guys know
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
And it took 3 years to convince him to bring on a integrator, but really like a COO, like
Mhm.
almost a CEO. Like you need someone to just put their arms around this whole thing. And the
Mhm.
first thing that guy did was promote someone to be his continuous improvement manager.
Mhm.
And and I've been watching it in real time. And so, you're not the number twos need their own number twos, and so on and so on.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Right? Even a good foreman has a good number two.
Yeah.
So let's dive into okay, that was my little segue there.
Mhm.
Let's dive into a couple examples of process improvements that you've put in place. Now, Ellen, how long have you been with this company?
Started last August.
Last August. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's all right. I know what that is. 8 months or something, or 7 months.
Mhm.
So give a couple examples of success and how it impacted not only the problem, but the
Mhm.
overall, the larger morale and efficiency.
Yeah. I guess you brought up huddles, and it could be my favorite tool of all time. A huddle, basically, for everybody, it's a morning meeting. It's to be no more than 15 minutes. It should be 10 minutes. It's a quick check-in, a quick gratitude, quick safety. But importantly, everybody has a number. You remember that from EOS or other books. So people come in and they update their number with a pen and on the papers. It's not a complicated computer situation. And then they report out on their numbers. Are there any issues? Do you have what you need to succeed today? And what it does is it aligns the team. Everybody's super clear on how we're doing. They have that moment to ask for help. They can bring up an issue. If it's a short little issue, you can solve it right away or put it on a sticky note, take it to the L10, which is our weekly meeting. And it's done, it's alignment, it's trust, and it's a comfort with bringing up defects, which I'll be talking about continuous improvement, but fundamentally, everybody needs to be like, woo, that didn't work. Well, that's a problem. That didn't work. That didn't work. And not like Des is describing, where you're pinging your boss and you're, it's not like that. It's a team saying, all right, we got these defects. Is there a trend? Let's do some problem solving. Let's fix it.
So
So that
are you teaching analytical thinking, root cause analysis?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
are you teaching that to others?
Yes. So once you've got a problem identified, then you take it aside and you go, okay, how big is it? When does it happen? You mentioned, I think, in your blog, the 5 whys, and I love the 5 whys. I've got some really cool stories from a past experience. I haven't done a 5 why here yet, but I think that's coming. But yes, you're bringing then tools to the problems. So like Des mentioned, you're doing deep fixes of processes, not just kind of a quick Band-Aid and move on. We're just
You can
starting our huddles in production. We just started those a couple weeks ago. And it's like been awesome how quickly, I didn't know, maybe they would hate it, but the production managers like grabbed it, like, and the crew leaders are like all about it. So when a tool is easy to implement, it's like, there's something right about this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Excellent.
Mhm.
It's interesting that you kind of scratch your head like, wait, why weren't you doing this before? And I guess every company has that with certain things or blind spots. What, Ellen? So, what was production doing before that they thought was the right way to do it? That they're now seeing, oh, we had a gap or a hole or a blind spot that this is filling.
I think it was more individualistic. So your production manager would give you your work plan. Here, Jeffrey, here's your plan. Des, here's your plan. Separate, separate, separate.
Yeah.
And then the production manager hears the problems and they think, because they're good production managers, I am going to fix that someday. But I can't fix anything. We have to fix things. The one hump we had to get over, I think, is the normal one, which is another meeting. It's such a waste of time. What do you mean? 10 minutes? What's everybody else going to be doing? That's so expensive. And, you know, I got it. And then like by day 2, we've already saved that much money and more by like taking confusion out of the process.
Ellen, you gave such a good answer to what I thought was going to be a tough question. Oh, damn. I love that.
Damn.
I love that. Des, what's another, answer the same question. What's another improvement that has been made where it had a big impact on the problem and the bigger morale or efficiency?
I would say all the work, there's been a lot of work done in LMN around building templates, calculators so that we're estimating the same. There was a lot of inconsistencies, I think, within our sales team. A little chaos. You know, we hired a sales manager at the exact same time as we hired Ellen. So there's some overlap there, but for sure getting everyone aligned there to get following the same, estimating the same way, following the same processes. They did an offsite all-day sales strategic planning meeting to go over a lot of those things and get everyone aligned. So I would say putting all those things together where ultimately it's going to make it easier for everybody once we work through what you naturally have to work through when you're implementing something new. It will help everybody be a lot more consistent and within the sales team. So there's a lot, but that's another one.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Just for fun, what were you doing before that? That
Jeffrey, you know the answer.
No, I'm asking.
What were we doing as a team?
This podcast is not for me, Ellen. This is for everybody else. So Des, I'm asking Des. So what was the sales team doing before that? Oh, here's the obvious fix.
So they were using a Excel with formulas, an Excel file with formulas to try and do some of their estimating. But to be honest, they weren't all consistently doing the same thing. It wasn't standardized. It wasn't, this is how you estimate. This is how you estimate this, and this is how you estimate that. So it was just a little more chaotic and open for individual to do their own process. It really wasn't documented. So
if we do the 5 whys here on live TV or podcast, even though it's not live, but if we did it right here, we'd say, well, why was that happening? Oh, because the owner was the sales manager.
Right.
And so when you brought in the outside sales manager, you then simultaneously went in and fixed other problems that were related.
Yep.
All right. This is good. So Des, what has this position freed you up to do more of or better of?
So this has freed me up to really focus on operations and production. I've been caught up in the support staff and that side of things and all for so long, and this has allowed me to really focus on scheduling, routing, working with production. It was something I could never really get to, and now that is where I live more.
Yeah,
and honestly, I love it. I can think way more clearly without all that other noise. I can really focus on the things that really do affect the company in a positive way on a day-to-day basis. I think that a lot of us think we can do everything, and we'll get to it the next day, and we'll get to it the next day. It's same with the owner being the sales manager. We just think we can do it all. And
Yeah.
when you realize you can't and you need help, and you get the right help, it's like rocket fuel. It really, really makes a huge difference.
Well, but this is rocket fuel with a turbocharger or supercharger. Or let me think. I guess you can put octane additive into fuel to increase its performance. So this is high performance fuel with some additives put into it.
Yeah.
And so, Ellen, what have you seen from your perspective that Des, the integrator, can now be more effective at? Give us a different example besides the one Des gave.
So what can Des do more of? Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking the same question I asked Des, which is, with you doing what you do, what have you, looking at her, seen that
yeah.
she's now freed up to do more of, deeper of, better of?
Yeah. I guess I'll say two. One's sort of small but huge impact. It's one of those little levers that you're like, whoa, that's big. And that's doing the scheduling. I think that this company and others will delegate the scheduling. And I had the experience before that when I, as the general manager, did the scheduling, it's this very impactful work. And to get it to really go, you kind of have to make the production uncomfortable and push sales pretty hard. And pretty much you have to be a senior leader to get that done. So when Des took over scheduling, the company transformed like overnight. So that's been really good. I think the other thing is that Des is a pretty phenomenal communicator. But to try to think through the system, try different things out, try this, try that, then do the system, then train the system, and communicate all of that I can't do it. So it's been really cool that we're really well aligned. So I'll do this like deep granular, I love data, like get into it. And then I'll come out and be like, oh, I think it's this, that, and the other. But at that point, I can get a little tongue tied. I can get a little like moving it into everybody else's realm can be a little hard. And Des is really good at she's wicked smart. And she'll be like, okay, I got it. And then she'll go communicate it and win everybody. Like, I mean, I think people here have been wonderful to me, but it's great to work together.
So, Ellen, you'll improve it and she'll integrate it.
Maybe that's the way. I certainly know she'll communicate it.
Just using some.
It. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. So what else? I mean, I know you're working on like a few, if not many other things, but we're still going to segue to a next topic, which is once you get through your big list, what are you thinking about that you're going to tackle next?
I mean, right now we are supercharging our use of Slack. And what we found, I was sitting with a bunch of the crew leaders at our end of the year meeting and what'll be our rocks and what was hard for you. And they were talking about how embarrassed they get if they show up at the customer wanted something and they don't know. Somehow they didn't get the message. And they hate that. And we hate that as a company. We're supposed to be great at that. So Des had for a long time, I think, wanted to deepen our use of Slack. So I took it on along with a guy who works on my team who's fantastic, Matt. You'll all meet him. He's lovely. And really radically increased our use of Slack in a lot of ways. I'm psyched to show people. But I feel like we've only kind of scratched the surface. So that's one is it's about the voice of the customer and really, really, really making sure that everybody all the way along is serving that voice and understands customer intent and just thrills the heck out of them.
Yeah.
And that is hard. So that's kind of, I would say, for the next quarter, making sure that actually works.
Okay. Des, do you have an idea in your mind that you haven't even told Ellen about yet for next year that you want to tackle?
Oh, I'm sure I do. But yes, I am integrator, but I do have a little bit of visionary in me and I try and keep that. Because right now I agree with her. Part of the change and changing is rolling out the change. And I think sometimes that takes longer than people think.
Yeah.
So like she said, our focus right now is we've made these changes. Now we're going to make them right. We're going to make sure they're working properly. We're going to guide the rollout, we like to say. So our next projects are our current projects and refining, documenting.
Got it. I think that's a important point. A lot of owners get in trouble for they're thinking of an idea, they're thinking about it, they're working it out, they announce it to the team, and then they're ready to move on. And the team just heard about this idea.
Yeah.
And the whole implementation and buy-in and all the bumps that go along with it is skipped or short-circuited.
I think I can't stress that one enough. And what's really great is between Des and myself, we're in the coaching part of that and any number of efforts. And so we can just divide up. Like I go to the install meeting huddles in the morning. She's at the maintenance ones. And I'll kind of bird dog the install team at the various steps along the way. She's bird dogging the maintenance ones. That's truly a divide and conquer. And having the patience, the persistence, and the courage, because a lot of the times it doesn't go very well. And then people get upset. And one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Des sayings goes something like, can't get over it, can't get under it, can't go around it, gotta go through it. And so just having, Jeffrey, you mentioned in your article about having credibility. It's really important that I have street cred and I work really hard to not get out of my lane. I'm not a technical expert. I don't challenge the technical decisions of the field leadership, but I can stand in a room and make sure a process gets learned along with Des. And that's going to be at least quarter, but probably more like 2 quarters.
Yeah. There's I don't know if I think it's Roman philosophy called Stoicism. Have you guys heard of it?
Yeah.
So the Stoics, they did a lot of stuff, but part of it was all about the obstacle is the way, which is what you just said, Des.
Yeah.
I'll find the book. That might even be the title, and I'll send it to you.
That's
The
lovely.
obstacle is the way. Can't get over it, can't get under it, can't go around it.
Yeah.
Give some tips to people listening if they want to mimic what you're doing or just do a better job in their own companies with integrating leadership and continuous improvement principles, even if they don't go out and hire 2 people like you. So whoever wants to go first.
I would say to have patience and grace with people as you go through these things, as you go through a change. Patience is important because sometimes a change isn't easy. People learn at different rates. Some people pick up on things really quickly and some people it takes longer. So I think just understanding that a change isn't you type it up, you send it along, and now the change is implemented. It takes, like Ellen said, persistence, it takes follow-up, it takes training and teaching. And so I would say don't think that just because you made a change and you updated the process and you sent it along to the team that the change is made. Understand how much actually goes into it and the alignment and the follow-up. And like Ellen said, pointing out the defects. We can't just sit here and watch as something isn't working and not say anything, because then it will just keep not working and break even worse. So that for me is the biggest thing. And I'm not incredibly patient person, but it when you see the value that comes when you have the patience and you put in the time, there's just no other way. There's just no other way to do it.
I guess I'd like to share here's an activity that I find really impactful. And we did it in startup as a team this year. It's a tabletop, and I call it soup to nuts. So pretend you're the customer, call on the phone, and have the guy who calls on the phone explain what he does and hold up the paper that he fills out, all the pieces. And then take that piece of paper and then take it to the next person, the salesperson. Move to the salesperson's table. Watch what the salesperson does, and then the designer, and then the production manager, and on, and watch the data move and find places where it doesn't. It dies. So that first consult form, maybe it never moved. And so like, oh, well, let's fix that because there's important information in that. But it's a tabletop and it's a very granular, just watch the data move and then like write down where it breaks. It's redundant, confusing, and that'll give you your first list. I really can't imagine anything more important aside from safety. If you have a safety issue, there's different tools, but your customers need to be thrilled with you. And there's nothing more thrilling for a customer than that first little dream that they called you about. I would imagine even commercial maintenance, though that's not my jam, but residential install, and all the way at the end, everybody knew their dog's name the whole way. Everybody remembered that their religion is that you don't come to their house on Friday, et cetera, like the care that takes. So you'll find out in your company if you're really doing that by doing that little tabletop exercise. It's simple, it's fun, and I think it's really impactful.
How many times last year were you guys called back to close a gate?
Probably a few. I've seen, the long crew, the gates open, the dog got out. Yeah, we've gotten that.
That
times.
is the biggest complaint that reoccurs.
Yeah.
Looking at my house, I'm like, really? Could you guys come back?
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just my pet peeve, but it's a lot of clients' pet peeves.
Yeah.
Right? And when they have young kids and dogs.
Yeah.
All right. This is good. Good stuff here. So, what will you be talking about at the Summer Growth Summit? Ellen, you sort of hinted at it. I think you're giving one talk, is it, or two?
I'm giving one talk and I'm supporting our HR person who's talking about the learning program. That's a really important part of it, but I won't go into that here.
No. Give us a teaser, a couple sentences on each.
Okay. Well, training is everything. Well, almost it's 99% of the thing. 1% discipline, 99% training. We have learned a ton from Jose Ganel, who the community probably knows him very well. We took his program and sort of made it right for us, and we're in the midst of rolling that out. I mean, we've rolled it out, but we're going to make it better and better. And she's going to talk.
Jose's from Landscape Renovations, by the way, in Minnesota. Okay, so you've adapted that and made it your training program.
We have.
And so that you'll be supporting that talk. And what's the other one?
The other one is what is continuous improvement. So I'm going to kind of chunk it into 4 basic categories. One is people, so roles and responsibilities, and I've got some just techniques on that one. And I also, books are my love language, so I'm going to be suggesting some books for those of you who want to read or listen to podcasts.
Can books be a love language? I don't remember reading that in the book.
They are, Jeffrey. It's mine.
Is that gifts? Does books fall under gifts? All right, now we know.
And the second one is process. So how do you improve a process? What does that look like? And then the third is finances as a value. I am a very numbers person. I understand the world in numbers. When I understand the money, I understand it all. And so kind of taking it out of any sense that it isn't a value, it is a value. And building equity for owners is part of the deal. And it's part of being a company. And I think if I can go into it a little bit here, when you have a really big-hearted owner like we do here, I think sometimes that gets short shrift. And as a finance person, that's not okay with me. I think return on equity is real. And I think it's important. So we'll be looking at people, process, and finance, and just some tools and books that I've picked up along the way.
Okay, good answer. Even better than I thought I would get with that question I threw out that you were not prepared for. Des, What will you be
So
speaking on?
so I'll be speaking on two things. One of them is marketing and our CRM. And then the other, what I'm really excited about is it's the intersection of culture and systems. So I am incredibly passionate about the culture, the culture we've built here. And it can be a delicate thing, and navigating changes and implementing new things and new systems and new programs and maintaining that culture and having a culture of being open-minded and being open to new things and buying into those types of things. It's it takes a certain it takes a certain finesse. And so I'm going to be talking a lot about how do we make changes? How do we get people to buy in? How do we have such success, like Ellen said, in with our production staff, like she said with the huddle, they just grabbed onto it. And it wasn't just that we said to them, all right, you're doing this now. And then they said, oh, okay. Like there was way more that went into it to prep them for it, to lead them down the pipeline to get there before we got there so that they know what's coming. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that because it's something I'm really passionate about. And I think it's something a lot of people struggle with because change is hard and culture can be hard. And doing both and having both be successful, it's not always simple.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm really excited to hear these talks. You girls are rock stars.
Thank you.
I bet you have a unique culture with you guys, 1-2 punch, right? You're bossing around a lot of guys.
Yeah.
And so I cannot wait to come visit your company again during our summit.
We are really excited.
Yeah, tell me, share a little bit of the excitement.
So we're already meeting as a team. Well, obviously you know that because we've been talking, but the team is excited. So we had the peer group visit recently. So we're already a little bit, we were a little bit prepped for this, although it's completely different than when the peer group visited. But we have a lot of passionate people that are excited to talk about the things that they're passionate about here. And we've gone to a lot of the summer growth summits. And so we know what each person's trying to learn, what they're going to try and grab onto. And so to be able to try and give that to other people is just really exciting.
And if I can, you're coming to Detroit, and we're really, really proud of our city. We love our state, and Detroit gets a short shrift sometimes. So the whole world is wrong and Detroit is right. And we are really looking forward to having you come and see our beautiful, amazing city and our partner, Troy Blog, because that guy is unbelievable. I'm so excited to learn from him too.
I have to agree with you. Detroit definitely deserved its bad reputation, but it's like a phoenix, except it's a Detroit, but it's like a phoenix rising. When I go now to Detroit, I'm like, oh my God, what a great city.
Yeah.
So Des, in the past, you would bring a lot of people to our summits. You'd bring frontline Hispanic. You'd bring different people from admin in the field, and so just give a little explanatory for those that are signing up and wondering who they should bring. Explain the benefits that your company got by bringing these different people.
Yeah, so I think we've brought up to a dozen people at once. And like you said, leadership, production managers, sales, account managers, everyone is going to get something different from it, but everyone's going to get something. And what I really like about the Summer Growth Summit, the way it's structured and formatted, is that everyone is learning the same things. So rather than having people kind of pieced off and I'm learning this and you're learning that, and then how do we get a consistent message, or how do we align on priorities or what we want to implement? And with the Summer Growth Summit and having everyone in the same room, it's really easy to go back and then understand. I heard the same message as you, so I know what you're talking about and I know what you want to implement. But it's really for anyone. We've brought any position in our company has gone to the Summer Growth Summit, and you just have to recognize that no matter where they sit, they're going to get something. It's just, and it might be different than what any other person in the company gets. That's going to bring value.
Well said. Ellen, you've in your previous company have come with a bunch of people. What's your perspective on it?
I think I was going to add that I always tried to take at least one thing away, and then that thing becomes this great quick alignment tool. So I think anybody who was in Chicago remembers that everybody needs a flat of Pachysandra, which is the Mariani motto amongst a jillion other things that company does well. We took that one away. Everybody gets a flat of Pachysandra, and then the whole team unites around what an upsell is, from the admin answering the phones, all the way through the frontline supervisor. Then's like, when they talk to the customer, they're like, oh, my job is to enhance their property. Hey, ma'am, it would be really cool if, it might not be a flat of Pachysandra, but that's such a wonderful analogy and metaphor.
Might be 20.
Right. Yeah, better yet. But I think that is why you want to bring a diverse team, because you take that little nugget and everybody's seen it. Something I have to keep front of my mind is that in landscape, especially, people are very physical learners or very visual learners. I'm a book learner. That's a little uncommon. This isn't about who's smarter or not. It's how people learn. And so if you have gone and seen it, and then you have this little funny takeaway, it's like a massive impact to your company when you get home. Makes change a lot easier.
Yeah. I was just texting with Frank Mariani.
Yeah.
He may make a surprise visit to our summit.
Ooh.
You're going to do just fine, Ellen. I want to thank both of you for showing up today, and really excited to see what you guys got cooking. Any final words, Des?
So I was actually going to just add something about the Summer Growth Summit. It's not only the speakers and the talks where you're going to learn. Some of the best things that I have learned are sitting on the bus, in the cooling station at Mariani, if you were at Mariani, or riding on the bus. So just talk to people, network, because sometimes like the biggest, meatiest things might come from just a conversation with one individual.
Awesome. Well said. Can't wait to be there. Appreciate both you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.